Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel, and I have a cross stitch tip for you. Here's one of my cross stitch books, and I like to buy them because they have a lot of cool stuff in them. This one has a lot of different things, a lot of different categories of cross stitch, and it's called the Best of Cross Stitch Basics. So it's got nice beginner projects in here. And what I want you to look at is down here in this corner, they have a section on bookmarks. So let's take a look at it. They have different cross stitch patterns in here, but I'm not really focusing on the patterns so much, is how to finish off your bookmarks, how to finish off the edges. And you'll see different styles in here. And then let's look over here. These are scalloped edge. Now, I'm not going to show you how to scallop the edges, but you can buy these. They come in a pack, I think, of 5, and you can buy them on Amazon. So you would just go to Amazon.com, go to the sewing and craft section, and look for cross-stitch bookmarks. Here are just a few of the different ways that you could finish off a bookmark. And I'm talking about the edges. You've already done your design in the middle, so now you need to finish off those edges so that they won't unravel. So this one here is a blanket stitch. Now I'm almost embarrassed to show you this one because I don't do hand stitching very well like this because my right hand doesn't close, so it's hard for me to hold it in place. So it's just a little bit sloppy. But I wanted to give those of you an option who don't have a sewing machine that you can still do hand stitching to finish it off. And in a moment I will refer you to an excellent video that will show you how to do this really well, but I'll go to that in just a minute. Here is one that has lace trim added around the edges. Here's another one that's fringed at one end, and then it's got fabric wrapped around the edges. And then over here, this has got fabric wrapped around all 4 edges. So to find this tutorial on the blanket stitch, or they call it a buttonhole stitch, same thing, go to Amazon.com. You want to enter cross stitch bookmarks, and all kinds of options will appear. Scroll down that first page, maybe halfway down, and you're going to see a seahorse on a cross stitch bookmark. It's called Seahorse Cross Stitch Bookmark Kit Embroidery Set. Click on that and go into that one. Once you're into that window, you click on your left-hand side a little square that's got an arrow in it, and that plays a video for you. Once you're in there, it shows you several different stitches, but it has an excellent tutorial on how to do that blanket stitch or buttonhole stitch on your edges. Now, I'm going to go over quickly how you can do the lace trim on your edges. So this is the lace trim that I'm using, and it is by Simplicity, and I buy mine at Walmart, and they have it in the sewing and craft sections. You can also find other lace trims on Etsy.com. You can go to Joann Fabrics and Crafts, or even go on Amazon. So there's plenty of places to get the lace trim, and it's about 1/2 inch wide trim. So once you have finished your design, and when you're doing a bookmark, you can make your bookmark any size you want. You're not limited just 2 inches wide by 6 inches long. I sometimes cut mine as wide as 3 inches, so it's up to you. But once you've finished your design, keep your design narrow so that when you go to finish your edges, it's not covering up some of your cross stitch. So after you've finished your cross stitch design, then you want to cut out a second piece of Aida cloth that is exactly the same size as your top fabric. Then do a zigzag stitch on all 4 edges to hold it together, because it'll make it a lot easier to put your lace on if those edges are zigzagged together. So now place on one side in the middle, place your lace trim. Go over about 2 inches and begin to start. Now I'm going to show you how to go around these corners. So you're going to stitch all the way down to your first corner. Now do a couple of back stitches to hold it in place. Then take it out of your machine. Take your lace and you're going to put a little tuck right there at the corner and bring it around. But after you've tucked it, then you want to begin stitching over here at the edge again and go all the way down to the other corner and repeat that process till you've gone around all 4 sides. So once you've stitched your last corner, just stitch down about 1 inch. Don't go all the way back down to where you started. Then overlap your lace and then about 1/2 inch, and then with a pair of scissors, go ahead and trim the excess off that you may have. Then you want to bring front sides together of your lace like this, stitch the ends together, and then open it up, place it back down on your edge, and finish stitching it off. So here's an example of where the ends are fringed and fabric covers the edge. So I've shown you this technique before on how to fringe your edges, but in case you're new, you would just go in and just pick it out like that a couple of times and then just pull the threads out. You can make your fringe as long as you want. I recommend at least 1/4 of an inch, maybe even up to 1 inch. It's really up to you. Then once you've decided that, you want to measure between here and here to see how long that is. Then you want to add 1/2 inch to that length. Then measure the width of your fabric and then add about 2.5 inches to that size. Then you want to take your fabric piece, fold your edges over and press. Then you're going to fold the other 2 edges over, and you're only folding it over just a little bit, slightly under 1/4 of an inch. So fold the both edges over. Then take your Aida cloth, center it in there, fold it over the edge like this. Let me get a hold of it here. And once it's folded over, then you're going to stitch right along here. So let me show you the one that's done. Okay, so you'll fold it over and stitch here and stitch here. Then stitch down close to this edge, go to the other end and stitch it down. Then you're done. Here's how you do the one where the fabric is around all of your edges. So again, always measure your Aida cloth for your bookmark, because if it's a different size, that means the measurements of your fabric is going to be different. So on this one, you want to cut it 2.5 inches wider than what this width is, and 2.5 inches longer than this. And then again, you're at each end, you're going to fold the edge over towards the edge of your Aida cloth, fold it over and stitch, then go to the other end and do the same thing. Then fold this edge over and press. I like to press them with the iron because it's just much easier to stitch it down. And then again, you would fold it over again. So here, what you do then, once you've got those edges pressed and folded over, then you just stitch it down on both edges. So in case you're wondering what it looks like on the back side, I'm just going to turn these over. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to turn the other one over to the back side, and then this one. So you can see that your stitches on the back of your Aida cloth are completely covered. And then again, try not to look at my stitches so much. Try to use your imagination. And then here is the lace one on the back side. Now I have a couple of things I want to show you real quick. This is that little design board I show you in the previous tip, and we had forgotten to get the link down in there, so I wanted to bring it up to you again. If you're interested in this, this is how you can keep track of all your threads for your current cross-stitch project or even embroidery. You can have your needles pre-threaded and extra floss down there. This is a no-sew project, so it's in my tip of the week, number 27. It's a great idea to get something to put your current project in because you could easily lose track of it. And the package that maybe your kit comes in, they fall apart pretty easily. So sometimes I'll use these little, it's not the Ziploc, but it's those little locking bags. You can also put a little label on it so you know what it is, or you can use the Ziploc. Another thing is to make these little zipper project bags, and you can make them any size, and this is a beginner sewing project. So if you do have a sewing machine, you can make this, and it's real easy to put the zipper in. Please don't be afraid of the zipper. So you can keep your current project and all of the supplies that go with that kit. If you already have some sewing experience, here's another project bag with a vinyl window in it, and I really like these because when I'm going through all my stuff, it's got a window. I know exactly what it is. And again, this zipper is very easy to put in, and this will fit a pretty good size project. But if you have something that's even bigger, you can make these vinyl window bags any size. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned something new. If you have a tip on how to finish your edges, let everyone know what you do. It just might be something that individual wants to do. So you just go down below your YouTube screen to the comments section and just enter that information in there. I know that they would love to read it. Also, if you're interested in my other cross-stitch tips, those links will be listed below your YouTube screen under cross-stitch tips. So you just scroll down, click on the show more or the down arrow, and that will expand open. For those of you who don't know how to sew, but you're interested in learning how to sew, we'll have a few beginner sewing projects down there for you. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny. See you next time.